Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello out there. That was my funky hand. This is a wave. How are you? Happy Wednesday. It's another hump day, happy chat. I'm Valerie, Dr. Valerie Renee Shepard, coming to you live from the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery. And I'm grateful to be here. I'm a little tired this morning. You probably feel it in my energy field. Um, and a funny thing, you know how things that happen real time are some of the things I like to talk about real time. And actually, this has come up in a couple of different ways. So I'm getting the message that it's worth chatting about. So I hope you'll stick around and we can connect on this. But it's a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning here in the Pacific time zone. Hello to you. Happy afternoon, happy evening. And if you're up in the wee hours of the morning or the night, get some sleep. But thank you for being here. I'm very excited to welcome you and to share messages to help you live a more happy, peaceful, joyful life. So the Hartley Center, what I'm all about is self-mastery, which is defined as mastering you in your life so that you can exquisitely, that's one of my favorite words, exquisitely manage anything and everything your life brings your way. It's rooted in 3 pillars: self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-love. They are 3 anchors in self-mastery that help you create the life that you really desire and deserve. If you are listening to the replay and you have comments, please put hashtag replay. We go back and we look and I scan them and answer your questions. I love questions. They give me an opportunity to engage and interact with people live, real human beings, instead of talking to the ethers, although I can do this too. I invite you to come on over on Facebook to facebook.com/groups/The Bliss Collective. That is a private community, more than 700 strong, and we are a community on a mission to create a movement of peace, love, joy, and freedom all over the planet. We want to increase those energies on the planet. And here's the most important thing. We know that we do this by increasing those energies within us. How do you get more peace in the world? Well, the people of the world, the inhabitants of the world, need to embrace more peace, need to interact peacefully, need to take on the expression of nonviolence in their thought forms, in their behaviors, in their interactions. And so that's what we're doing over in the Bliss Collective. It's a free group. Come over and hang out with us. There are posts and videos and invitations to get together. So there are some cool things happening in the Bliss Collective. We'd love for you to be a part. And there's one of the cool things is on Fridays, there's Ask Valerie Fridays. And so you can hashtag Ask Valerie and there will be some answers to your questions. And by all means, when you use the teachings and you get some, wow, this is how this works in my life, or wow, why isn't this working in my life? Then please let me know and I'll do my best to help you integrate and embody what would serve you the best from where you are. And my last little announcement is on Sunday, the 22nd of May, if you want more fun, you want to reduce stress, you want to bust through anxiety, you want to put down the overwhelm, I've got a 7-day free Grow in Self-Mastery, Flow into Bliss challenge. They're 7 days of investigation, exploration, that's about transforming your life. We're getting really good feedback from people who've participated. It's free and it can help you do a kind of a self-evaluation, like where am I? If I want to have more bliss, am I on the right path? And am I doing the right things? Am I being the best version of me? What's more? What more is possible for me to have more of what I want? And so you can go to tinyurl.com self-mastery challenge, tinyurl.com self-mastery challenge. So today's Hump Day Happy Chat, number 173. And this question came to me this morning. If you're not making butter, why are you churning? If you're not making butter, why are you churning? So I love this question. And people talk to me sometimes about being tired all the time. And I'm not talking about chronic fatigue. And there are medical, symptomatic experiences, medical conditions, what I'm trying to say, medical conditions that waking up tired is a symptom of. So if you are chronically tired and you haven't had a sleep study done, for example, or you haven't talked to your medical provider or your psychological counselor, your spiritual counselor, or your alternative healer about the symptomatic physiological aspects of what you're going through, I encourage and invite you to do that, because you may be experiencing something that is real physiological dis-ease in the body that can be corrected. And why keep going through something when you don't have to? So I would encourage and invite you to check that out. On the other hand, if you're experiencing waking up tired and you don't have a diagnosis of a physiological situation, you might be waking up tired because of churn, because of emotional, mental churn that you're putting into your body. So it may not be sleep inertia. It may not be blown out adrenals. It may not be sleep apnea. Maybe something else. So if you're familiar with Buckminster Fuller, he talked about perturbation and maybe made it more famous than its original developer, Ilya Prigogine, who did research and discovery around energy systems. So remember, all of life is an energy system. There's this giant closed energy system in this universal energy in which we live. It's a giant energy system. There's the energy system of you, a little bit more closed. It's got your body around it, your mental mind, your emotional system, energy systems. So Prigogine called this the theory of dissipative structure. Dissipative structure. So how do structures shift in an energy field? So with change, love that word, change, that word gives a lot of people a lot of perturbation. With change in your energy system, things shift. The way the energy is related shifts the way things appear. So you know this when we do the really basic structure of the molecule of H2O. It can show up when the molecules are dancing at one rate as liquid. That's water. It can show up when the molecules are dancing at a different rate. That's solid. That's ice. And you can see it when the molecules are dancing at a different rate, a third rate, and that's vapor or steam. But the essential molecule is the same. It's H2O. Same molecule. So what is this process? On its way to being each of those things, there's this agitation, this instability. The system itself becomes unstable. Like before water boils, you can hear things happening. You can observe more bubbles. It's before the boiling point, and you see things happening. The systems become unstable as it was, water, and it's shifting, moving into steam. In that instability, centered right in that instability, is the transformation, the change. In the middle of the instability is the change. The transformation is taking place. So imagine, if you're not making butter, why are you churning? When your mind is stretched, loaded with all different kinds of ideas, we can go into those ideas in a minute, loaded with all different kinds of ideas, there's the potential for this transformation to occur. You can come out on the other side of this churn. One of my favorite fats. Butter, baby, butter. Give me the butter. Churn. Extra butter on my popcorn, please. Churn. Extra butter on my scone. I have a maple pecan scone waiting for me downstairs, and it's going to have a lot of butter on it. So the whole idea here is, excuse me, you are transformed in that churn. You're transformed. And it's been happening all of your life. Growth spurts, baby teeth falling out, hair shifting, all kinds of things. In all of these systems, there's a dynamic, an active dynamic of energy shifting that is a part of the signal that change is happening. Change is happening. In butter, churning is the process that takes cream or whole milk, agitates it. Churning is the agitation. So in water boiling, it's the heat. Churning, it's that agitation. Old churning process. The agitation is the part of the process that causes the transformation. So what do you get from that? The agitation is needed. So this is probably why a lot of people resist change, because they don't like the agitation. If you're not making butter, why are you churning? So this statement, this question that is the title of today's Hump Day Happy Chat, this question is going about, like, is the agitation, the emotional agitation that you're feeling about the transformation or the transition that you're in, is that really necessary? Are you creating emotional agitation such that you're churning over your own situation or churning over situations in the world, and it's not serving you? And you're not changing the churn. You're allowing the churn to run you like the tail wagging the dog. And you wake up tired because your mind isn't resting. I talk to clients who sometimes say their dreams reflect what they're worried about. Yep, that's you churning so much that you're creating it even in your less than conscious and awake moments. You're keeping yourself prisoner to the dynamics that are happening. You're holding yourself prisoner in a vibration that you cannot benefit from. If you're not making butter, why are you churning? Why are you churning? So if we agree, and I hope we do, that in many systems, Scientifically, the agitation is signaling that a transformation is happening within the system. That's science, y'all. And then metaphorically speaking, when there's change happening in your system, perhaps if you churned less, if you self-agitated less about the change, you would be less tired. You would be less frustrated, less frazzled, less anxious, less stressed, less overwhelmed. Stress, anxiety, and overwhelm can be created by you when you are not willing to move into acceptance and allowing of what is happening around you, what is happening with you in the system, in the current system. So if you're really not sleeping well because of physiological issues, get those issues addressed. Don't churn over not sleeping well without finding out the root cause. And there are some important physiological issues that are related to poor sleep. And I invite you to check them out, and confirm for yourself that those are not what you're dealing with. And I would do those before I started self-medicating. Understand what's really going on before you start medicating. Then, breathing techniques can really help you. So one of my number one, every time I give you what to do, have you noticed that the number one step is breathing? It's about breathing. On somnox.com, one of their number one steps for dealing with not getting a good night's sleep, waking up feeling tired, is a breath work technique. That there is something called sleep inertia, that a little bit happens in the morning. So you wake up and you may just feel tired because of the transition from sleepfulness to wakefulness. Your sleep state to your waking state. So Somnox recommends this 4-7-8 routine. So you exhale thoroughly, making a whoosh sound. I like that sound. Close your mouth. Inhale through your nose, mental count of 4. Hold that breath, mental count of 7. Exhale completely through your mouth, making an audible whoosh sound. Whoosh. To a count of 8. 4 beats inhale, 7 beats hold, 8 beats whoosh. All one breath. If you can't actually do that, you might do what I encourage and invite you to do, which is the 4-4-4 technique. Start there. But notice breathing. You're oxygenating the brain. You're excavating old stale energy. That's why the exhale is so much longer. There's so much stale energy in most of our lungs because we don't breathe deeply. Normally, we are holding our breath and we don't even know it. Breathing deeply is a part of evacuating the stale energy that's in your lungs. Not only the energy, but all that emotional churn, that perturbation, that can happen in a system that is transforming. Allow it to release. Step 1 is always connecting to your breath. One of the reasons that I always recommend connecting to your breath, besides oxygenating your system, is that it also gets you into your body. So it grounds you. So often in our lives, we are leaving fragments of our mental, emotional, physical bodies. We're leaving our fragments of our emotional self all over our lives. A little bit of anger is over here, and a little bit of resentment's over there, and a lot of sadness is back there, and some stuff is like it's all around us, but it's not really in us. Your energy is outside of you. So calling back all of your life force to you. I call back all of my life force energy to me now from all places in the universe where I may have left it. Valerie Renee Shepherd. Dr. Valerie Renee Shepherd. I call back all of my life force energy. I have to remind myself sometimes. I'm still getting used to it. We're still in the first year of using that title, and I'm still getting used to it, calling myself that. So funny. Shouting out to my mom. She calls me Doctor and my childhood nickname. It's so precious. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. Sidebar over. Okay. So calling back. I say my whole name. Valerie Renee Shepherd, calling back all of my life force to me now from anywhere in the universe, any plane where I've left it. I do some deep breathing, and I can feel the weight of myself inside myself growing. I know that I'm calling back. I might have to do it a couple of times, and then I feel really grounded. I'm grounding into the Mother Earth, feeling myself tethered completely between heaven and earth, fully in my body, fully saying yes to this moment, fully leaning into my yes in my life to fully be here, right now. So that brings me into the present moment. Then I invite you, this is something that I invite you to do all the time. This is an always forever practice. Go into the churn. Go into the churn, make peace with the churn, with your agitation, when you're agitated, when you're feeling unsettled, when you're like, I can't stop thinking about blah, blah, then go into it. You can't resist it to make it sit down and be quiet. What you resist persists. That's a universal law. What you resist persists. Scientifically proven universal law. Look at the martial arts. They talk to you about how to use the energy of resistance against your enemy. Look it up. So what you resist is going to persist. So instead of trying to resist it, I don't want to hear that thought. I don't want to think it. I don't want to remember those moments. I don't want to dredge up old past memories. I don't want to think about my failures. The agitation around them is calling you into a better relationship with them. And by better, I mean one that serves you better, one that serves you to experience and express your highest self. That's how you have your best life. You live your life being, expressing your highest self. So some of the churn, if you're not making better, why are you churning? Some of your churning is about letting go of the old, calling your attention to the old so that you can transcend and include it, so that you can heal and forgive it, so that you can actually lovingly, compassionately release it, not resist it. Resist it holds it in like a top on a pot. Explore the churn. And even when you can't get to answers from the churn, allow the churn anyway. Why am I churning? Why am I churning? How about, I'm in a lot of churn. Okay, churn. What did you come to teach me, from me, to me, for me, about me, so that I can be my best self and live my best life? Here's a quote that I really love about resolving churn. It's by Rainer Maria Rilke. Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart, and learn try to love the questions themselves. He goes on to say, do not now seek the answers which cannot be given you because you would not be able to live them. What's that point about? There are times in our lives where the churn, before the steam can happen, the churn in the water happens, but it's not ready to boil. It's not ready to be steam. Something else in the transmutation, the transformation has to happen to make it ready to be steam. So sometimes you're trying to get ahead of your life. Sometimes I, the impatient one in the past, I have tried to get ahead of my life, tried to get ahead of myself in my life. Sometimes this transformation that is happening, I'm not ready when I'm in the midst of it to be on the other side of it. And some of the answers to the questions are on the other side. And some of them need to percolate where I am. The gestation period is a part of the evolution of the self. It's not stagnation. It's this beautiful place where the transformation is occurring, when the shift is in process, when the progress is in the shift. And you can't hurry that along. It takes the time it takes. And in some ways, when we're trying to hurry it along, we're actually slowing ourselves down. We're actually not serving ourselves, trying to rush right through it. And so exploring the churn, going into the churn, making peace with the churn. Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart. And try to love the questions themselves. Do not now seek the answers which cannot be given you because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Live the answers when they are presented to you. So we're breathing. We're making peace with the churn. Why am I so frustrated by this? Let me just allow it to be. I'm frustrated. Learn to settle into your disturbance. Learn to settle into your disturbance. Instead of railing against it and trying to run away. I want to run away. I don't like it here. I don't like it here. Which creates stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. Accepting and allowing. I'm leaving later than I thought. My relationship with my sweetie pie is feeling really troubled today. Well, I still didn't do that thing on my things to do list. I really don't know if I want to keep this job. I failed that test. I'm going to spend another day doing nothing. I just don't feel motivated. I feel afraid for my future. I feel afraid for my children. I feel sad about what's happening in the world. Like all of these places, accepting and allowing is a step that gives you peace, quits the churn. Even while you might say in the next moment, because the next moment is to, in that more settled space, do what serves you best. As my beloved teacher, Jennifer Huff, would say, she's president of the Wide Awakening, and author of the new bestseller, The Physics of Getting Out of Your Own Way. She would talk about doing what presents, the very next thing that presents. Maybe it's taking a nap, but so often we say no because we're impatient to get where we're going. So maybe it's taking a nap. Maybe it's taking a walk. Maybe it's getting a tall glass of water, because many of us are walking around dehydrated, and that doesn't serve us. Maybe it's going to a laughter yoga class. Maybe it's doing some forgiveness work all by yourself. Maybe it's journaling. Do what presents. Slow your roll. Deal with your impatience. Instead of seeing time as outside of yourself, something you have to keep up with and battle, fight time. What if you put time inside you? There's some physics for you. Put time inside you. Walk around with it inside you. The physics of getting out of your own way. Thank you, Jennifer. Put time inside you. This has been my latest fun practice, and it works. I love it. So are you getting it? If you're not making butter, why are you churning? If you're churning over emotional situations in your life, you're creating your own stress, anxiety, and overwhelm, and you're slowing yourself down. You're actually holding yourself in that agitative state called perturbation, and you're not allowing the evolution of the situation to occur. So stop it! Choose differently. Decide for yourself, discern for yourself a new way of being, and let this Hump Day Happy Chat support you to go to the higher ground. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching on the hashtag replay. Thank you for hashtag sharing with love. Share this with love. Support the ripple effect that I'm wanting to create in the world for more peace, love, joy, and freedom to be in the people of the world, so that it erupts on the planets in the world. Thank you so much for joining me. I always close the Hump Day Happy Chat with the Karanaya Metta Sutra from the Buddha, the prayer of loving kindness. I love this prayer. I have lots of prayers. This is one of my favorites. May all beings be peaceful. Whew. Feeling a lot of big energy in this system. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. Hump Day Happy Chat. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature, which is what the Hump Day Happy Chat is about. Wake up! May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature, and may all beings be free. And remember, in that prayer, all beings includes you. All beings includes you. Wishing you peace, love, joy, and freedom today. Many blessings. Make it a good day. Choose happiness. Choose happiness. Love you lots. Bye now.